Hey there guys, Panobi here bringing you a Pokemon Narrated Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be a 5th generation battle I had against SiZZirP, a good buddy of mine. Make sure to check him out. Really awesome narrator. He does a lot of extra effects and stuff. Speaking of which, I'm trying some new editing on this video. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. You can see the team previewer there. I opt to lead with my Weezing, predicting him to lead with his Infernape, but he's going to opt to lead with his Whimsicott. So keep the teams in mind for switches and predictions and thinking about what you would have done. Like if you enjoy, feel free to comment. And you should be hearing a little bit of music right now. I did include some additional audio tracks in this. A link to the person who made it will be in the description. I'll probably talk about it again at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into it. As I said, I'm going to lead with my Weezing. He's going to lead with his Whimsicott. I'm predicting him to go for the sub straight away because it's always a good scouting move, and obviously he has the priority, so I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast. It's a little risky to reveal that I have Fire Blast so soon, but I know that his team is definitely not weak to fire since he does pack, Dragonite and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not really worried about showing it off. And he's going to opt to switch out to his Zapdos, but I've got my prediction pants on, and I do predict a switch and go for the Toxic. So, yeah, so far it is a pretty nice looking start for me, and I'm going to opt to just get out of there because I know Weezing has some piss poor special defense. Going to go into my Captain Morgan, both a One Piece and alcohol reference, because it is a specially bulky Weezing. And he actually opts to go for the T-Wave, which is going to get some Parahacks on me, which I'm not too worried about, because this is a special bulky Weezing, no speed EVs, so not too big of a deal. Unfortunately, I do get the Parahacks as I go to set up my rocks, which is pretty unfortunate. And he brings in this Dragonite. Now, when looking at the team previewer, I thought it was going to be a bulky Dragonite with Heal Bell, or at least I was hoping it would not be, because bulky Dragonite with Heal Bell would really be a kind of a pain to this team. And I think that multi-scale is legal, so I don't know. I'm just assuming that he has the multi-scale ability. But I don't want to stay in with my Latios because I haven't scouted his Dragonite enough yet, so I'm going to go into my Go Gadget. Go Gadget. And the reason I went into this rather than Heatran was because I can at least break the sub with this, and if I go to Heatran, I know he's just going to Dragon Tail me, and since he's faster, I won't be able to roar him out. Now, I go into my Aerofoon here, and I should have gone straight for the Toxic, because I actually do carry Toxic on that Aerofoon, but I opt to switch back into my special bulky Tran. I don't recall what my thought process was at that particular moment in time, but I am going to get Dragon Tail back out to my Pop Green, and now I'm just going to go for the Toxic, which is what I should have done in the first place, but whatever, it's not like he has entry hazards up, so it wasn't a big deal. And I'm going to take the Dragon Tail moderately well, since it's a shitty attack move. And it's going to put me into Latios, and thanks to the Toxic damage, he's not at full HP, so I know I can go for the Draco Meteor, and it would be able to kill, I do believe, because I'm Choice Specs. He goes into his U-Jelly, and in fact I'm not Jelly, because it looks like I'm going to be able to 2-hit KO you with a Draco Meteor. Bitch! But no, I actually don't, so sorry Shofu. But yeah, he goes for the Taunt on my predicted switch, and yeah, because my Draco Meteor missed, I'm going to have to try a new tactic, because I don't think that Draco Meteor is going to kill after the lefties. And I don't want my Latios to be taking damage just yet. And he easily could have recovered that turn, which is what I was predicting. So, yeah, I go to my Go Gadget because it has Wish. And I'm thinking I can get some Wish support in right now. Unfortunately, I am going to get the Parahacks, and I'm just like, oh my god, enough with the Parahacks. But whatever, that is what happens when you are paralyzed. So yeah, another Surf is going to put me down to 112 HP, no big deal. I know I can live another one. I am max HP Rachi, as you can see by the 404. And he opts to go for the Taunt this turn while I go for the Iron Head. I could have gone for the Protect, but I knew I could live another hit, and I kind of thought that he would go for the Taunt because he doesn't want me to stall him, I guess, because it's kind of boring. So now I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do, but I'm going to opt, I do believe, to U-turn. Now, U-turn is a little bit risky just because there's always the possibility of me getting paralyzed like this. So perhaps a direct switch would have been a little bit better, especially considering that U-turn isn't really going to do jack diddly balls. But I don't know, I already got Parahacks not that long ago, and plus his Surfs aren't really doing too much damage, so I just wanted to go for the U-turn, get a little extra damage. Plus, if he wanted to switch out, it would give me some switch initiative and allow me to go into an appropriate counter rather than whatever I would switch in on Jellicent. So I'm just going to go for a Specs T-Bolt because I know it'll be a 2-hit KO, and he doesn't have too much on his team that is going to appreciate coming in on Specs T-Bolt. I mean, he does have a Zapdos and he does have Dragonite, but both of which are going to be taking, I do believe, neutral damage. So now he decides to go to his Aerofoon, which is the only thing that can really resist my T-Bolt. And I was half predicting that, but I really didn't want to over-predict. And I'm actually going to get some para-hacks, which is pretty awesome to get on an Aerofoon, because even though it being slower doesn't matter because it has the Mischievous Heart ability, or I do believe Prankster in English, which means its moves get priority, the fact that it might get para-hacks can stop it from just like subseeding you all day, because eventually it'll get para-hacks and it will not work. So he actually goes for the Stun Spore. I was not predicting him to carry Stun Spore on his Aerofoon since he already carries T-Wave on Zapdos, but I guess he does. So he's going to switch out to his Jellicent. I'm not sure if that was purely a death fodder or him predicting a switch. Most likely just death foddering it out because it's a slow poke, so at that low of HP with rocks it wasn't of much use to him. So now he's going to bring in his Zapdos because I assume it's a bulky Zapdos considering that it carries a status. So I'm going to go back into my Captain Morgan just to take whatever he wants to do. I guess he has the HP Ice, which is quad resisted by Heatran, and plus I'm special bulky, so that did like negative 10 HP or something like that. Now I could just go for the Roar here, predicting a switch, and I think that's actually what I do, but he probably predicted that and stayed in just a T-Bolt to get some damage or something like that. Either that or he wasn't really afraid of the offensive prowess of a defensive Tran. So now I'm going to go for the Protect, because I'm pretty sure that his Ape is Choice in some form. And I saw him go for the CC, so that means I have a free switch. Well, not free, but I can go into my Weezing. And yeah, it's not going to do Jack Diddley Balls. He's probably not even... He's probably Scarfed, actually. So yeah, because of the damage, he's probably Scarfed. I don't know why I'm acting like I just figured that out now when the battle is like super old. And I do believe I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast, because even though it's resisted, Ape has like really bad stats, and plus I know he's going to need to switch out. So there wasn't really much else I could have done, since his Zapdos and his Dragonite are the two things he'd probably want to switch in, both of which are already Toxic Poison, so might as well just get a little bit of extra damage, especially if he went to the Zapdos, which he did. And I go back to my Captain Morgan. Now, I think he's going to predict the Protect, and this is the perfect time for him to roost if he has it. I'm not sure if he does or not. So, in case he does, I have to go for the Fire Blast, because Fire Blast, Stab, 125 base power in conjunction with the Toxic Poison should just keep him at a range where he can't switch out because of rocks. And that thought process is going to be rewarded greatly by the fact that it completely works. So his Zapdos is actually going to die to the Toxic, which I kind of didn't expect, but he's probably physically bulky Zapdos, since that's usually the defensive investment that bulky Zapdoses are, is in physical defense, not special. So he's going to bring me out into my Stalker, and I don't think he has an offensive move that is really going to hurt me, so I do decide just to go for, I do believe, the Draco Meteor, while he opts to roost up, but unfortunately I get Para-Hacks, so he doesn't actually know what move I'm trying to go for. But me getting Para-Hacks is not really that bad of a thing, because the Toxic Poison at the end of the turn is going to break his multi-scale without me having to be at -2. So he could have just sat there and roosted all day, but he would have got Toxic stalled, so it actually kind of worked out for me. And now I'm going to predict the U-turn, because it's super effective on Latios, and just go into my Heatran to quad resist that. So Heatran is doing work this battle. Definitely seems like the MVP thus far. And he opts to go to his own Latios. Now, I'm not sure what he wants to do, but I do resist both of his stabs, so I'm just going to opt to stay in and go for a Fire Blast, even though I know he resists it. I don't have too much for Latios, other than my own Latios, which is unfortunately paralyzed and will be outsped and probably killed off by his stab super effective Dragon type move. So now I'm going to go back to Shofu, predicting the Fire type move, or predicting the Fighting type move. And he does opt to go just for the CC, so I guess he is not trying to over-predict just yet. But unfortunately for him, the rocks are really adding up on his Ape, and I'm just going to stay in, and I went for the Toxic. Now, I went for the Toxic considering that he might have switched to his Latios. That was kind of, it's sort of a just in case he switches to Latios, because I can tell that his Ape is obviously going to die by the rocks, so I don't need Weezing anymore, because honestly, Weezing doesn't counter anything else on his team. So I just keep going for the Toxic in case he wants to make a switch to Latios and fodder Ape out later. I really don't mind letting Weezing die if it means that I'm going to get a free switch. And that is exactly how this is going to play out. I'm going to lose my Weezing, and he is going to lose his Infernape. So even though he's gotten a lot of status and crippling stuff on my team, it's actually like 5-2 or 5-3 right now. So the score is not completely indicative of you know, the damage that's been going on. But I'm going to predict him to go into his Air Foon, so I'm going to go into my Wild Weasel, which does carry the Fake Out, which, since he's paralyzed, my priority is faster, which is awesome. And now, this is where he's going to make an interesting play and go for the trick. He was probably predicting my switch to, like, Tran or something. So that was probably why he went for the trick, I don't know. But I opted to just go for the U-turn, and now go into my Rachi, because now my Rachi can probably tank any hit, especially since he doesn't have his... Actually, I think he had a Scarf. I don't even think he had Specs. But I can just go for the U-turns, take any hit. But he's actually Life Orb because he tricked himself to Life Orb from my Kagendo. So that is actually going to be the game. It was a little bit one-sided, but hey, I still had some fun, and it's always good to battle my good buddy SiZZirP, so make sure to check him out. As I said, link to the person that made this music will be in the description, so make sure to check them out. I will upload more 5th gen in the future, and it definitely, there's some wins and some losses, and I'm still going to keep up 4th gen, still going to keep up NU, it's what I love, so don't worry about that. And that's about it, guys, so hopefully you enjoy, and peace out.